Today is a very important day for justice in America. The judge in the Hunter Biden plea deal had a little problem with him yesterday. He is supposed to either get the plea deal or not, and usually that's open and shut. If both sides have agreed, usually the judge says okay. However, the problem is a whole lot of information has come out between the plea deal being accepted by both parties and today. The judge, if there is any justice, the judge will say, hang on, before we get into that, I think there's a lot of stuff we need to look at and reject the plea deal. Now, I didn't really have any hope for that. However, yesterday, Hunter Biden's counsel kind of pissed the judge off a little bit. The judge yesterday threatened sanctions unless they could explain a fake call to the clerk asking for testimony from the IRS whistleblowers to be removed from the case. Now, this is according to the Daily Mail in England. They reported that the Delaware judge, Mary Ellen Noreika, excoriated and darn near eviscerated the attorneys because here's what they found out. The House Ways and Means Committee chairperson, Jason Smith, alerted the judge that someone had called the court clerk and misrepresented themselves as his attorney, requesting to remove 448 pages of congressional testimony from the IRS whistleblowers. So let me say that again. The House Ways and Means Committee chairperson called the judge and said, I want you to know somebody just called. I just got a report from my office checking on it from your office. Somebody was misrepresenting themselves as my attorney. And that is not my attorney. I don't know who that was, but I'm not asking for those pages to be removed in this case with Hunter Biden in your courtroom. So when Smith's real attorney told the clerk that wasn't us, they fired off a quick note to Biden's attorney, who claimed that the clerk had taken down the testimony on their own. Smith provided evidence that the request was not a mistake. They did not take it down on their own. And in fact, it had come from a staffer with ties to Biden's attorneys. So now the judge said, and I quote, "It appears that the caller misrepresented her identity, who she worked for, in an attempt to improperly convince the clerk's office to remove the amicus materials from the docket. Therefore, I hereby order that on or before 9 p.m. tonight," that's yesterday, July 25th, 2023, counsel for the defendant shall show cause as to why sanctions should not be considered for misrepresentations to the court. So he was trying, the Biden attorneys, break the law, have somebody with ties to the office call, misrepresent, lie, and say, I'm the attorney for so-and-so, and we need to get this out of the docket. And they get caught. How is this not? I mean, this is mob stuff. This is honestly crime family kind of stuff. We're going to see today. She's supposed to make the call on this today. So we will see if he gets the sweetheart deal or not. He should not, obviously. By the way, the buyer of Hunter Biden's art, we now find out, has visited the White House 13 times. 13 times. Also is like, I don't know, the ambassador to U.S. history or whatever the hell it is. This person paid $875,000, which is weird because I was in the bidding, and I also got the same artwork for $1.7 million. And coincidentally, completely unrelated, I'm also the ambassador to France. So this is great. So anyway, she is a big donor, and she bought this artwork from Hunter Biden for $800,000 plus. And then she goes to the White House and has meetings at the White House 13 times right after the art. And then she gets appointed to a great position. Isn't that weird? If this judge accepts this deal, there is no justice. This judge should say, no, I think we need to wait. Because all this deal is he has to promise to be a good boy, stay away from drugs, and don't own any guns. And he is super promised that he wouldn't. Oh, my gosh. The Biden family is completely and totally out of control. Usually with crimes like this, it is the cover-up that is the real problem. And the cover-up is a very big problem in this case. But unlike, a small break-in to Watergate, just to spy on the Democrats, which is a very big deal, that's nothing compared to our president taking bribes from foreign countries that are our enemies. I mean, it's unthinkable.
Yeah.
And how people are just living with it. I saw the New York Times yesterday. They were like, still there is no evidence that the president was involved in any of this. Hey, Rumpelstiltskin, have you been asleep for the last year? What are you talking about?
Well, how long did they cling to the Russian story? How long did they cling to that? How long did they say that Hunter Biden's laptop wasn't his? That was Russian collusion. That was Russian disinformation. I mean, they just will not let this stuff go. They're going to protect him to the very end.
And the very end, I think, could be coming. I think it could be coming. There's a sea change on all of this, even without the media. The minute the media starts to say, you know what, it's just too much, if they ever say that, it will be over within a week. He will resign. However, I don't think they're going to do that. But I think the American people, I sense a change in the American people. They've had enough. And, they changed our language, changed everything, and people have been tolerant. But I have to tell you, Churchill was right. Churchill said to England, don't worry, the Americans will stand up. They're always the last to the party. They're always the last ones in. But once they get in, they win. And I think that's true. I think that America has put up with this nonsense for a very long time. You started messing with our children, and that got everybody's attention. And now they just keep dogpiling, lie after lie after lie. And they are so clearly lies and verifiable that I think enough independents and enough Democrats. I mean, remember, Donald Trump's numbers always had a floor to it. There was a floor to it. There doesn't seem to be a floor to the negative numbers for Joe Biden. His numbers keep going lower and lower and lower. There's just no way to save it. There's no way to save this. But we shall see.